Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nikki and I'm so happy to see you guys here again. More. So today, I recently did a big chop and I'm on a hair growth journey. I'm trying to rediscover what agrees with my hair, what kind of styles do best with it or it does best with, how to care for it best, when to manipulate it. And I have a few ideas because I had my hair natural for some time during the pandemic. I just wasn't able to deal with it. I mean, I think many of us felt overwhelmed with our hair and just life in general during the pandemic. So this is one of the things that I have to rediscover because I gave up on it in 2022 and I went back to the creamy crack, but the relationship didn't last long. So I'm back on my rebound with my natural hair again. And I want us to go on this journey together because there's so much to learn, so much information out there. And I feel like when we see people like ourselves and people who we can relate to giving us information, it's really empowering and it helps us to get the best results for ourselves, you know. So that's what I seek to do today, to share and to start on that journey with you guys. And hope that I say something that's relatable, hope that I say something that really gives you like that light bulb moment. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on your bell notification so that every time I post something you guys can see. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so firstly, let's address the 3 factors that influence hair growth. Alright, so periodically I'll be referring to my notes because you know it's a very extensive topic and I want to make sure and touch all bases. So one of the first things that influence the growth of your hair is genetics. So some people's hair grow faster than others. Some people's hair growth you'll see more evidently than others because of the texture or the curl pattern that they have. Some people have less of a curl pattern or a more loose curl pattern, and so the growth is much more evident than someone with tighter hair. So if you have 4C hair, for example, or 4C type hair, obviously that's the tightest form of curls, that's going to possibly grow at the same rate as someone else with a different hair type, but it won't be as evident because of the shrinkage. So sometimes we see the girls on the internet, they're pulling their 4C type hair and it's like, wow, I didn't know it could unravel like that. So that's one of the factors, genetics. Most people's hair grows at 1.5 inch per month. So at the end of the year, with no breakage, which is in an ideal world, we get like 6 inches of growth. However, we're more likely to retain about 4 to 5 inches of that growth. We're not going to retain all of the growth because we have breakage, we have, trimming to maintain and all of these things. So yeah, accidental cutting, like taking out a weave or taking out braids or whatever the case is. So some of those things make our hair growth a bit harder to retain, right? The second factor that plays a role is our nutrition. Are we getting enough nutrients? Do we have a nutrient-dense diet? I remember one time in my life I was anemic. I had a low iron count and that really severely, I had a bald spot. My hair was relaxed. I think I was also really stressed because I was going to school at the point in time and I didn't care. I think when you're studying, at university level, there becomes a level of I'm just doing what I have to do and everything else, to hell with it. And I was in that point at that time. So my hair was really falling out and there are lots of other nutrients that are very important to hair growth, hair retention. Do you all see my broken pants in the back there? That's a heartbreak for me. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. So one of the things that play a factor is your nutrients, and then the second thing within that same bracket is your gut health. If your gut is not in good repair, then you cannot retain or you cannot absorb the nutrients needed for your body on the whole, but far less for your hair, skin and nails. Those things will definitely suffer, and they suffer in a very evident way. So you're gonna see if it's breakouts or dryness, or this is barring any other medical issue. If you see these things showing up on your skin, in your hair being very brittle, breaking up, etc., it's an indicator that you have some deficiency. So I'm going to tell you guys what are some of the nutrients and some of the sources of these nutrients, because we have supplements, we have things like biotin, we have hair, skin, and nails supplements, we have other multivitamins, and we have the vitamins that are by themselves, the standalone vitamins. However, those things most times come from synthetic forms, and from my understanding and my learning over the years, the synthetic forms are most times passed through the body. It's not used up by the body in the same way that we would use organic forms or natural sources. That being food. The food that we eat is really supposed to be the main source of the nutrients that we're supposed to get. So I'm going to give you a list of some of the foods that we need to prioritize in order to have healthy hair, skin, and nails. So filming is so much fun. You just make so many bloopers. So first of all, we're going to talk about protein. Protein is something that our hair is like made up of. It's in the molecular bonds of our hair, and we can find that from, we know it, eggs, lean meats like chicken and turkey, Greek yogurt, peas, beans, nuts, and seeds. Biotin is also found in eggs, nuts like almonds and walnuts, seeds, sweet potatoes, and spinach. Iron is also found in spinach, and lean meats like some red meats and chicken. Legumes and fortified cereals. But I will stay away from the fortified cereals because we want natural sources, not enhanced or enriched sources, right? We also want omega-3 fatty acids such as fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. We can also get it from flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. So for the nuts and for the seeds, if you're not a big lover of those things, I would incorporate them in smoothies or in some sort of dessert if you can't stomach, just having them by themselves. We also need vitamin E, which can be found in sweet potatoes, carrots, spinach, kale, bell peppers. And for some of the items that are overlapping, I think introduce a lot of that into your diet. So like, for instance, when I'm making a green smoothie, I tend to put spinach, kale in almost everything. And as you can see here from this list, there are a lot of different benefits for us in terms of nutrients from those particular ingredients. We also want vitamin C, which we'll find in berries such as blueberries, strawberries, citrus fruits like oranges and lemons, bell peppers, and again, spinach. So spinach is king, and broccoli. We also want zinc, which we'll find from pumpkin seeds, cashews, legumes like chickpeas and lentils, meat, and shellfish. Now, don't go taking shellfish if you're allergic. You can probably get a zinc pill if need be. But again, there are a lot of alternative sources. We also want the vitamin D, again from milk and orange juice, fatty fish, egg yolks, and mushrooms. And finally, folate, which you get in dark leafy greens. Two key players, again, spinach and kale, legumes like beans and lentils, and avocados and citrus fruits. So adding these things to your diet can support an overall healthy lifestyle, as well as it being good for your hair health and hair growth. And we know that our hair, skin, and nails are all linked. They all basically need the same nutrients to thrive. So you're going to be doing yourself like a goody all around, right? And if you remember before, I told you that gut health is very much directly linked to your ability to absorb nutrients in your food. So I don't know the technical name for it. I don't think it's so important for me to tell you the scientific name for the part of the digestive function that deals with absorption. However, I will tell you that for good gut health, you need good gut bacteria. You need fiber as well. I have this. Let's see if I can do the influencer thing. Are you guys seeing? It's called Physician's Choice. I like this because it's affordable. I got it on Amazon. It has 60 billion probiotic strains, I believe that's what you call it. So you basically want as many, like the higher the number is, the better for your gut health, for your overall health. And you want to be regular, you want to avoid excess antibiotics. So every time you take an antibiotic, try to make sure to get your prebiotic and your probiotic to re-regulate your stomach health. Manage your stress, consume enough fiber, stay hydrated. All of these things help with your overall gut health. So basically, those things are key to being able to effectively absorb all the nutrients needed for hair growth. So the last topic we're going to talk about is actually going to be the longest because there's so many layers to it, which is the actual hair care regime or maintenance program that is the external part of how you care for your hair. So you may say, well, you know what, my genetics is not all that good, or maybe I eat really well and my hair is not retaining the length. How do you care for your hair? How you care for your hair is absolutely the hugest, one of the hugest factors in retaining length. Not so much getting the hair to actually come out of your scalp, but getting to keep the inches that you get at the ends of your hair. So when I was younger, I don't know about you guys, but having, textured, unrelaxed, unprocessed hair was not the easiest thing. It was always like, it was a chore for people. It was always manhandled, yanked, and, just not taken care of with any particular technique or skilled hand. It was just like, okay, let's do this. And I can tell you this, that natural hair requires a lot of skill. It requires a lot of knowledge. It requires a touch of wisdom, insight, a touch that is learning how our hair behaves, what reacts well to it, etc. So that's why I feel so grateful to be living in an era where flat irons and all of the straightening tools, they're there for us, but it's not mandatory to be part of every household. It's not mandatory that everyone relaxes their hair. That's a choice, and if we educated people more about how to take care of their hair, that's so unique, it's so special, and it's such a part of your identity, then you will really feel empowered in like a beautiful way, So one of the most important things that I want you to come out with is that you have to baby your hair. Touch it gently. Don't yank it. Don't get frustrated. Like, don't do it when it requires a lot of time and you don't have that time, or that you don't have that patience. Don't do it in a time where you feel frustrated and flustered. Don't bother to do it at that point in time, because it just requires a gentle touch. And in addition to that, a lot of people have made wash day seem like the longest, hardest, most convoluted thing in the world, and I could never understand that. I mean, I don't have the same hair type as some other people, but I feel like it's just or if you have to do your wash day routine, it's going to take hours and it's going to take up your whole day, and sorry, no, I can't go anywhere, I have wash day today. I don't believe that's the way that it should be looked at. So I've gone to a salon maybe 2 or 3 times in my life, and they didn't treat me nice. It was not a good experience, and it's almost as though you're afraid to speak up, which I can completely understand and relate to people when they are like timid. Someone does something terrible to their hair and they're like, oh my gosh, why did that happen? I don't know why I let that happen to me. So especially when you know how to take care of your hair very well, you're not going to allow anybody else to put their hands in your hair. And you're going to be empowered, definitely. If you let someone put their hands in your hair, it's going to be by choice. It's not because you're under duress and you don't know how to do this for yourself. It's going to be a level of, okay, this is a special event, I need this particular style, but for the day-to-day care and maintenance, and even the weekly or monthly maintenance, you want to be empowered, at least with the knowledge of how to do it correctly. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is cleansing your hair, and I'm going to insert some pictures here of some of the products that I myself have used and found to be very nice. So there are 2 types of cleansers. We have moisturizing shampoos like these, and then we have clarifying shampoos, which tend to have sulfates because they need to do the job of stripping your hair of any heavy products that you may have put in. So typically, if you do not use silicones, heat protectants, things that are very hard to come out of your hair, things that make your hair impenetrable to water and moisture, then you do not need to use the cleansing shampoos. You do not need to use the shampoos with the sulfates. Mostly silicones. Silicones create a barrier or like a sleeve between your hair and moisture. That's why it's so important to maintain your silk wraps or your flat iron, your blowouts or whatever, because it stops the moisture from penetrating your hair. And so when you're ready to wash out your hair, if you don't have that cleansing power and the stripping power from the sulfates, then you're not going to get that job done. However, for the typical person who's washing their hair once a week or once every 2 weeks, they only use things like grease, moisturizer, gel, etc. You do not need to have a heavily stripping shampoo. I have a few, not many, a few recommendations for deep conditioners. I believe, me personally, in deep conditioning your hair every single time that you wash it. So I love to add back the moisture to my hair when the hair follicles are open from being washed with the shampoo. That's the best time to put, to give yourself that little extra aid. So that's the first part. I think a lot of people don't have information on that. All of the shampoos now say sulfate free. Why is it sulfate free? Why do we hate sulfates? That kind of information empowers you then to make an informed choice that is best for your hair type, your hairstyles, etc. All right, so sulfates are not bad. They just have this application, and we need to know when, where, how, and why. All right, so another important thing that a lot of us don't know is the difference between moisturizing and hydrating. The time that we spend saying, oh, we're adding moisture to our hair by using products like these and moisturizing, or even like this. Yes, it is adding moisture. It is adding moisture and it's locking moisture in your hair. It's part of a process, all right? So this alone is not going to lock moisture into your hair. But the difference between hydrating and moisturizing, I have the definition here, so I'm going to read it off for you, okay? Hydration involves adding water to the inner layers of hair, such as the medulla and cortex, to increase water absorption and retention. Hydrated hair can be soft, strong, bouncy, and easier to style and manage. All right? The second part is moisturizing. Moisturizing involves sealing in the water to the outer layer of the hair, called the cuticle, with natural oils to prevent it from evaporating too quickly. Moisturizing products can help to trap existing moisture and form a protective barrier. So these things that we love to use, they are important, but they are part of a process. The hydration part of the hair care routine comes when you wash your hair. So what conditioning helps to, revive the older parts of your hair. The older something gets is the more brittle, the more susceptible it is to damage, breakage, and all of these things. We don't want to have split ends. We don't want to have, a lot of knots, and all of these things can be helped by deep conditioning. But however, we know that we rinse out the deep conditioner, so it's not in there as a protector forever. At that point, we want to close the cuticle with a regular washout conditioner, and then we go in. I was just checking that I'm still recording. And then we go in with our moisturizing product. So we hydrate firstly by washing our hair. Then we go in with our moisturizing product. So we go in with a leave-in conditioner or a liquid. Some people add water to their hair or water infused with different things. Some people are using rosemary infused water, clove infused water, water that has glycerin in it. Glycerin is like a humectant. It draws moisture from the air into whatever you apply it to. So it's going to be drawing moisture to your hair. So some people start off with a liquid or a leave-in. That's the L of the LOC method. Or LCO method. I use the LCO method. Then they use a cream, so it can be like a moisturizer like this. And then they use an oil or like a butter to seal in all of that. So that's why I said moisturizing is a process, because the moisturizers like this also have oils in them, but not heavy oils that will seal off your hair. So we have two different types of oils when it comes to hair care. One type is called penetrative oils. There are also sealant oils. The sealant oils will be used to protect. It's going to be the last step in your moisturizing process. So when we put the moisture in the hair, it's already hydrated through the wash process. We took several steps to moisturize and make sure that there's moisture in the hair, and then we're going to seal it off. Alright, so it's the same thing with skin. When you go to the bathroom, you take your shower, you leave your skin slightly damp, and then you go in with your oil. If your skin is dry, you're just going to be sealing in dryness. Same thing with your hair. If your hair is dry, you're going to be sealing in dryness. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be the oiliest, most brittle hair of your life. So I remember a long time ago, I used to be, when I was a child, sometimes you only have grease. And it's like, okay, my hair is just snapping off. It's crispy, it's crunchy, it's KFC. Because we didn't realize the importance of moisturizer. We used to love the pink Luster's pink moisturizer. That was like in everybody's house. I used that for many, many years, and it was beautiful. Big up Pink or big up Luster's. One time for the one time. When people are going through the weeks not washing their hair, but continuously adding more and more moisturizer to the surface of their hair, is that really benefiting your hair in a real way? Maybe it will give your hair some slip. If you want to manipulate your hair, you want to put it in a different style, it will give you that slippage, it will give you that softness so that your comb can glide through and that your hands can glide through, fine. I'm not saying no. So in that case, it acts like emollient or something like that. I'm not sure if that's the right word I wanted to use. But is it really moisturizing your hair in a real way? No. Why? Because we already sealed it with whatever oil or butter that we used. When I say butter, I'm referring to things like shea butter, cocoa butter, jojoba, no, not jojoba, mango butter, whatever butters there are, avocado butter. So some people choose to use those things because they have more of a creamy texture. They like that. It reminds them of using a grease. Or, I forgot to say, you can seal with your good old grease, right? So once you seal, no water is penetrating that. No water-based product is penetrating it. So you can put your leave-in conditioner, you can spray it with your spray bottle, but just know that you are only doing that for the sake of styling your hair. You are not doing anything to keep your hair healthy. As we mentioned earlier, hair is made up of protein. Now, for me, I feel like once my hair is natural, I don't necessarily have to go in with any protein builder, but different strokes for different folks. Some people have chemically treated hair. They are now transitioning out of. Some people hair is color treated and they need that little extra oomph, But protein is a very delicate balance that we want to try to maintain. We don't want to add too much protein to our hair because it can cause our hair to get too thick, too hard, and then become brittle. And we don't want to over moisturize our hair because then it becomes mush and it becomes stringy and it loses its elasticity and breaks off. So we want to find the best balance in between those two. A lot of people recommend adding a protein treatment to their hair every month or every 2 months. I don't know if I would recommend it so regularly. I would say use as needed. I like the brand Afrogy. Now, in Trinidad and Tobago, good luck finding this. There was one place that I found it, and they're closed now. That was the hair care store next to Church's Chicken on Independence Square in Port of Spain, and they're gone. So this is a leave-in conditioner. It's very watery. I think that it's good to add to your hair first thing out of the shower if you want to add something protein building. But there's another 2-step treatment that is seriously hardcore, especially if your hair is chemically damaged. It is amazing. Your hair is going to stop dropping, stop falling, everything for like a long time. You'll start to wonder if you no longer shed. I mean, shedding is, again, another natural process. Every day our hair sheds, every day our hair breaks. from manipulation. It's natural, it's normal. Once it's not excessive, once the amount isn't going up, then we can be, relatively secure that nothing is wrong with our hair. It's just a natural growth and breakage cycle that we as Black people have done for years that has stimulated hair growth and hair health is applying oils and greases to our scalp. And recently it was discovered that the rubbing of the scalp stimulates blood flow in different areas of your head, and that's what really causes the growth. It's not necessarily the application of oils to your scalp. Our scalps are supposed to be producing its own oils. It's called sebum. And if you see people with straighter hair, like East Indian people or Caucasians, they often talk about how oily their hair gets if they don't wash their hair several times a week. It's because of the sebum that's being produced and the fact that their hair is straight. It travels further down the hair shaft and more easily and more quickly than with our hair, because our hair has a lot of ringlets and curls and spirals, and it goes the other direction. It doesn't go down, it goes out, right? So maintain a routine of massaging your hair. I would say use the grease, use the oil, give yourself a little 5 minutes, 10 minutes massage, and I think it works wonders. The final thing I want to talk about is styling. When it comes to styling, I think that there are so many expensive, fancy products on the market, and a lot of them do not work. A lot of them only have like a fancy name, or we may be looking at a lot of YouTubers who are in foreign and they use things available to them. They are good brands, they're not breaking their pocket, maybe like $10. But when that comes to Trinidad and Tobago, what it's going to be priced like. So for now, I'm sticking with my tried and true, because I'm going to be basically doing wash and goes. I'm saying tried and true as though we have a long relationship, but it's pretty new, but it's going good. Me and the Red One redone professional gel coiffant. I don't know if I said that correctly, but that's what it is. I'm using that. I'm using my grease, and I'm using, right now I have the Miel leave-in conditioner, but I have no loyalty to this thing. I don't like it. Just using it out. I have the ORS leave-in conditioner. I've always loved ORS. They have very thick, creamy products. This is a leave-in conditioner, so it's not very thick, but if you want a good combination, you use the leave-in conditioner with the moisturizer, because if you have very thirsty, dry hair like me, you need the support, all right? So couple up. Finally, if you want to add a little extra shine to your hair, again, I have the ORS olive oil glossing hair polisher. It's a frizz control and shine oil. So this is really good. It also helps to maintain or to keep out the humidity of your hair. So I think this would be good, like if you have a silk press especially, or you're wearing some straight style. For me, I don't typically like to wear my hair straight with heat because I sweat a lot and it's going to be a waste. All right. If you want to get your edges laid, I always use Magic Effects, or I use another one like Kiss. But if they don't have this, then I go to Kiss. But this is my go-to. I love this. And sometimes you need the moco de Cruella. You just need the strong stuff, right? In terms of braiding styles, I basically just use whatever is available to me. The last time I used this via jelly, I don't really like it. I would not recommend it. Unless you want a very, very soft hold, then no, this is not it for you. But if you want them clean, sharp parts and defined boxes, then that's not the one for you. All right, but that's it for now. If you guys have any questions about anything else relating to hair, I'll be happy to talk about it. As you can see, I love rambling on and on about hair care. So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.